Are you struggling to focus while you're working from home? Are you noticing it's taking longer to get the same amount of work done? And do you feel like you are always working nowadays? Well, you're not alone. Many of us have been struggling to focus and to stay productive during the switch to working from home. There are several factors such as kids at home from school, unorganized workspaces, a lack of environmental pressure to really get things done, and stress, which all can influence our productivity. Many people are struggling to keep their same productivity levels right now. As a society, we are stressed, we are overwhelmed, and we are exhausted. So I understand it can be frustrating to be stressed about a pile of work you really need to get done and then not do it all day because you don't have the focus to get through it. The only options at this point seem to be work longer hours or just not get it done. So today we are talking all about food that you can incorporate into your day to help you stay focused and to optimize your brain power to help you get through the day. Now, I can't promise your kids aren't going to bother you, but hopefully your brain will be working a little bit better than what it's at now, so you can have a little bit more focus. I'm Dr. Maylee Devlin, a naturopathic doctor. I work with patients to create sustainable lifestyle changes to better their health and their overall productivity in their daily lives. I see many patients right now struggling to stay focused while working from home. This then leads to frustration and it leads to longer work hours, which eventually causes negative health impacts like poor sleep, poor eating habits, high stress or fatigue. This then snowballs and also can exacerbate these issues further. The root cause should always be addressed when you're dealing with any health issue. If we don't solve that underlying problem, the more symptoms that will eventually come up. I help patients find what's really beneath their health issues and then empower them to make changes that are lasting. So today, as I mentioned, we're really zoning in on a specific issue: a lack of focus while working from home. So you may have struggled with this in the past, or this may be a new issue for you. I know it can be frustrating to not have your usual productivity if you're not used to this, but there are several reasons as to why you may be struggling now. Right now, there's several factors like poor sleep, an increase in stress levels, a lack of routine, and suboptimal workspace, or a diet high in processed food that's maybe switched since the beginning of the pandemic. These all can lead to a lack of focus and concentration. So today I'm going to guide you through 5 foods that can help support your brain to promote cognition and focus in order to help you spend your time doing things that you enjoy and spending less energy on your work. This means more time with family or to relax, which then is going to turn into a more positive and efficient next workday. So let's get started. Our first food group is fatty fish. This is one of the best foods for your brain power because it's rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are amazing for our brain health. Now, we want to find fish that is high in omega-3 fatty acids, but lower in things like heavy metals. I use the acronym SMASH to help remember these fish. This includes sardine, mackerel, anchovies, sardines, and herring. Omega-3 fatty acids are high in long-chain fatty acids like EPA and DHA. These are heavily concentrated in our brain and they contribute to protecting our brain cells. In a scientific review of 25 studies, the author found that treatment with both DHA and EPA showed improvements in those who were suffering from ADHD. In another study, researchers found increased brain function in those who ate higher amounts of the fatty fish I mentioned earlier. Okay, number 2, berries. So, blueberries are perhaps one of the best sources of antioxidants, which means they are anti-inflammatory and they can protect our brains from neurotoxins. The berries can also increase blood flow to our brain through something called nitric oxide production. And berries can help prevent cognitive decline and improve memory. Blueberries can also improve our insulin sensitivity, and they are low on the glycemic index. This means they're a type of fruit that won't spike your blood sugar level. My favorite way to enjoy berries are on top of some Greek yogurt with some nuts as an afternoon snack. Okay, our third food is actually not a food, but a beverage. Coffee. Coffee is my favorite neurotropic or brain-enhancing chemical. Coffee has been well studied for this neurotropic or brain-enhancing benefit. Coffee has demonstrated the ability to decrease depression, memory loss, and improve cognition. Caffeine is the most popular neurotropic in the world. Most of us are familiar with coffee. And most of us are familiar with the beneficial effects of coffee. When you're trying to accomplish a task, we usually reach for some coffee. This is because coffee can increase our attention to detail, our overall productivity. It also increases alertness. But remember, you don't want to overdo it on the coffee. As I'm sure some of you have experienced before, too much coffee can be overstimulating and it can actually negatively impact your focus because it's quite distracting. It can also impact things like your sleep. If you have poor sleep, it's going to impact your cognition. So make sure you don't overdo it on the coffee, and overdoing it on coffee over the long term can also impact our adrenal health. Okay, number 4 is another beverage, and this is for the people who are not coffee drinkers. No problem. Green tea is also beneficial for focus and brain health. Green tea is really high in polyphenols and also contains caffeine. And research has validated green tea as another cognitive enhancing beverage, just like coffee. Additionally though, green tea is rich in an amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine enhances the mental effects of caffeine, and it counteracts that nervous feeling with too much caffeine. In research, L-theanine has demonstrated an increase in alpha waves in the brain. Alpha waves create a calm yet attentive creativity. During these increased times of stress and anxiety, it may be helpful to reach for something like a green tea instead of your usual coffee because of this L-theanine compound within the green tea. Something I like to do as a coffee lover is to add an L-theanine supplement along with my coffee. Okay, one of my all-time favorite brain foods is dark chocolate. So the cacao in dark chocolate is high in polyphenol compounds, like I mentioned in the coffee and green tea. And this increases the blood flow to the brain. And according to a study done in 2018, dark chocolate may actually increase the neuron or brain cell growth. Now, when we're reaching for a dark chocolate, it has to be dark. When I say dark, I mean greater than 70% when you see that on the chocolate package. We don't want things like a milk chocolate, definitely not white chocolate. We want to keep the sugar content low and that dark compound high. One of my favorite ways to increase dark chocolate and cacao in my diet is also adding a powder to some of my oats in the morning. So you can add in some protein powder, add in your cacao powder along with your oats, and now you've got a brain boosting breakfast. You can even top some berries on top. Okay, so if you don't enjoy consuming some of the foods that I've just mentioned or the drinks, you don't maybe have them often enough in your diet to really make an impact, you can add in supplementation to help you. For example, if you're not a big fan of something like fish, or you're trying to limit your intake due to heavy metals, you can add in a pharmaceutical grade or high quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement. If you are vegetarian or vegan, an algae oil also works. This is still high in the EPA and DHA that I mentioned. L-theanine, which I mentioned, the amino acid that's found in green tea, you can also get this in supplement form. So as I mentioned, this is what I do because I'm a coffee drinker. So I have the L-theanine plus my coffee, so I still get that balance of calm along with my caffeine for productivity. Adding in a high quality multivitamin can also be helpful in making sure that you're obtaining your baseline nutrient status. So a baseline nutrient status is really important for proper brain function. You can also add in some antioxidants or antioxidant supplements, or increase the amount of fruits and vegetables in your diet. Now, improving your focus, it might not sound like a very important task when there's so much going on in the world and so much you can focus on with your health. But if your focus continues to suffer, this is going to lead to more hours spent working, less time relaxing, less time doing the things you love, like your hobbies or even working on your wellness. So without proper productivity, your work is going to take longer in the day, and it may impact your work to a point where your performance is suboptimal and your clients are impacted or your employer starts to notice. Additionally, the foods that I've mentioned and the beverages are helpful for cognition, but they are helping you improve your brain health. That's how we're working on cognition. So if you continue to eat poorly and not eat for optimal brain health, you may start to see other deteriorations in your brain. This can lead to long-term issues and impacts on brain health, which may result in things like dementia or Alzheimer's in years to come. However, if you start to incorporate more brain healthy foods, when you sit down to do your work, you actually may get more done rather than sitting there stressed about the work that you need to get done. So then you can get your work finished in the amount of work hours that you were supposed to, so you can have this time to rest and rejuvenate during your non-work hours. So do you see this positive feedback loop where the more time you spend relaxing, exercising, eating good food, and enjoying your life, the readier that you're going to be for work that next day? Eating these foods also has several other health benefits. So yes, we're improving your brain health and your blood flow to your brain so that you can have more focus. But there's also benefits outside of the brain. These foods are generally healthy. They can improve your energy, your cardiovascular health, your metabolic health, and weight management, as well as mood. Thank you so much for following along with me for this month's video all about foods for productivity. And if you have a favorite productivity hack, comment below and help us all out.